Christine, how much does it hurt the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out?
It is devastating to the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out.
I know a lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion.
The WNBA finds itself in a deeply troubling financial position, seemingly powerless to stop its entire empire from crumbling without Caitlin Clark on the court. Yet, another sign of how badly this league has failed to protect the one athlete who pulled it out of obscurity and into the spotlight. This is the story of a league that keeps wounding itself while its biggest star sits on the sidelines, and how its refusal to face reality is bleeding millions of dollars by the day.
And the truth is the truth, and the data is there. And what we saw when Catlin was out the last time, the 5 games that she missed earlier in the season, the WNBA's viewership dropped more than 50%. Not just the Fever, but the entire league.
In an age full of manufactured controversy and social media noise, real facts are about as rare as a sold-out WNBA arena without Caitlin Clark. When Clark went down on June 24th with a quad injury, it exposed just how heavily the league leans on one single player. Now we're watching the same story play out again, as she remains sidelined indefinitely with a groin injury.
Quad injury jumped to her groin likely because of compensation. But the thing that you have to be careful of is if, say, you try to rush her back from this injury as well, then you're getting into this territory where a very serious injury can happen. That is what the Indiana Fever, that is what Caitlin need to avoid the best that they possibly can. So if it means that Caitlin is out for 3 weeks, if it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then so be it.
Nationally televised WNBA viewership collapsed by a staggering 55%, falling from an average of 1.8 million viewers with Clark on the floor to a mere 847,000 without her, while Indiana Fever broadcasts saw a 53% drop overall. But this is where the story stops being merely strange and becomes flatly disastrous for a league unwilling to admit where it went wrong.
Clark went down. The WNBA ratings have dropped over 55% across the board.
Hey, guess what, guys?
The league is Caitlin Clark.
The league is Caitlin Clark. She is the WNBA, guys.
Sidelined with a left quad strain May 24th, national TV viewership has plunged since then 55%. Before the injury, the Fever, her team, were averaging 1.81 million viewers, almost 2 million. Since her injury, fewer than 850,000.
First, while she was busy doing what she does best, packing arenas, shattering TV ratings, and generating record-breaking revenue, the WNBA was busy doing what it does best: nothing. When it came to protecting its most valuable asset, it seems odd to lecture everyone on the fundamentals of the game while letting opponents target, without consequence, a player responsible for 26.5% of the league's entire economic output. And here's the truly maddening part. This exact pattern has played out before, yet the league never seems to learn. Every time its top player has gone down with an injury, the WNBA has watched its viewership and revenue sink right along with her. It's the equivalent of touching a hot stove, getting burned, and reaching right back for it while insisting nobody warned them it was hot.
News is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA. At the end of this season, the WNBA will go into CBA negotiations. If negotiations go well, then every single player in the WNBA has a much better chance of making so much more in their next contract. And that's one thing when you start thinking about how many people stopped watching when Caitlin Clark got injured. A lot of people stopped watching because they are boycotting the WNBA. They don't want to give viewership to any other teams or any other players, whether they like other players on the team or not, because of how the media and the league itself has handled Caitlin Clark and how they have treated her.
The financial fallout was immediate and brutal. Fever ticket prices have plunged 71%. with some seats dropping from $860 down to just $250. The average price for tickets to games Clark is missing has cratered from $1,270 to $80, a number that says everything about who's really driving interest in this league. Road games that were moved to bigger venues to meet Clark-fueled demand are now struggling to fill seats that would have sold out instantly had she been playing. Tickets for the Sparks Fever rematch, once one of the season's most hyped matchups, dropped from $210 to $95. That same matchup had previously drawn 2.25 million viewers, making it one of the most watched games in WNBA history. Without Clark, though, it's just another forgettable game to casual fans.
What's really concerning about this is the fact that we are only a month into the regular season, and Caitlin Clark has already been out with 2 injuries, with the first one being her having to miss some time with a left quad strain. Now, of course, this is concerning because if you're already on your second injury, you don't want to be that player that is always hurt. Cough, cough, Embiid, cough, cough, Anthony Davis. So I really do hope that the Fever really sits her out right now for a while, only because you don't want her to have more long-term injuries and be more prone.
Veteran sports journalist Christine Brennan has been one of the loudest critics of how the WNBA has handled its biggest star. Her upcoming book, On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports, is expected to lay bare the league's shortcomings. Commentators have pointed out that after Clark was once again singled out by opposing players, the league continues to fall short at the exact moments it should be stepping up, even as viewership numbers reach new highs. The criticism boils down to this. League data shows more than half of all TV viewers tune in specifically for Clark. Yet she keeps absorbing hard fouls and cheap shots clearly designed to rattle the one player keeping the league relevant. It's like a restaurant owner letting customers mock the very chef who's the only reason anyone walks through the door.
Man, bruh. Congratulations to the WNBA. Your ratings are going to drop by 55 to 60% once again. I believe the WNBA have successfully broken Caitlin Clark.
It's turning into an exhausting and predictable pattern. Clark keeps getting fouled by opponents who seem far more focused on making a statement than playing basketball. The Phoenix Mercury alone accounted for 80% of the league's 30 flagrant fouls on Clark, 5 of which came in 2026. When she pushes back against the physical play, she's branded as overly confrontational. When she stays silent, she's called too soft. The league refuses to fix a no-win situation. Meanwhile, the financial damage isn't limited to the Fever. It's spreading across the entire WNBA. The league was already on track to lose $50 million this year, and those losses are accelerating fast whenever Clark isn't on the court. As attendance reverts to pre-Clark levels, TV ratings sink, and merchandise sales flatline.
As big a deal as Tiger was in men's golf, Keith, he did, and when he was gone, it affected the ratings, but nothing like that. And, Michael Jordan being out, maybe a 5 percentage points or something. Nothing like this. You can make a strong case, and I will make that case, and have that there is no one single athlete more important to his or her sport or tour or whatever the circuit is that they play on than Caitlin Clark is to the WNBA.
What makes this whole situation so frustrating is that none of it had to happen. When Clark first entered the league, she was a humble rookie who constantly redirected praise toward her teammates. She handled criticism with a level of grace and maturity rarely seen in a 22-year-old. The league had every opportunity to protect her, embrace her, and use her popularity to lift the sport as a whole. Instead, jealousy and petty politics were allowed to undermine what should have been a moment of celebration for women's basketball. The fallout from Clark's injury reaches well beyond ticket sales and ratings. Corporate sponsors poured millions into the league, and many are now openly questioning whether that bet still makes sense given how things have unfolded. It points to a deeper identity crisis within the WNBA, caught between wanting to be respected as a serious basketball league and chasing every bit of manufactured drama that drives social media buzz. It can't be both. Real professional leagues protect their stars while keeping competition fair. Manufactured drama for attention is the playbook of a high school clique, not a professional sports organization.
I don't even know where to begin, man. I hope Caitlin Clark is okay. I want to know when this injury even happened, bro, because let's be serious here. She has the quad injury. Mind you, Caitlin Clark hadn't missed a game since she was like 19 years old, since she was like 18 in college or something. Now she has a groin injury. We've never seen Caitlin Clark play as bad as she played the last 3 games. Let's just be serious here. She's like 1 for 20-something on threes in the last 3. We've never seen her shoot the ball this way. I'll say that. Has she been hurt and playing through this?
There's a glaring and uncomfortable gap compared to how other professional leagues treat their stars. Imagine if the NBA claimed the game was purely competitive, while letting players target LeBron James with dirty plays for months on end. The league would shut that down immediately, and suspensions would follow before anyone could finish saying flagrant foul. Yet the WNBA seems perfectly content letting this harmful pattern continue, as if any attention, good or bad, is good enough. Fans are now starting to skip games without Clark altogether, no longer trusting that the games are being officiated fairly. When your own fan base says they won't watch unless you're biggest, star is on the floor because they don't trust the officiating otherwise. That's a credibility problem far bigger than any ratings dip.